Good morning guys, welcome back to another video and another day of eating. It's been a long time since we've done one of these ones. Always starting the day with hydration. So we've got water, and I've added creatine, I've added a little bit of magnesium, and then some sea salt, salty creatine drink with some lime to make it taste a little bit better. Yes, thank you. As per the recommendation from Andrew Huberman, getting outside 15-20 minutes first thing in the morning, go for a stroll, no phones at this point, and yeah, it's a game changer. Speaking of Andrew Huberman, I usually wait 60 to 90 minutes before I have the best part of the morning, which is coffee. So I like to try and sit outside as much as possible, as long as it's not raining, crack out a couple hours of work first thing, and then breakfast. I have just a few simple rules for breakfast. Number one, it needs to be decent amount of protein, 40 to 50 grams, generally what I aim for. It needs to be lower in carbohydrates because I tend to stack them around my training later in the day. That's just personal preference more than anything. And number three, it needs to be easy. This is kind of pretty much the standard because it's just brain off, simple, 6 eggs, rocket for health, some yogurt or kefir in this case, raspberries, nuts. I actually don't know how many calories this is. I don't count calories. I haven't in a long time, but it's something that I always used to do for these day of eating videos to kind of give a sense of the idea of what it was that I'm eating. The only thing I personally take note of most days when I'm eating is how much protein I'm guessing. I'm aiming 180 grams of protein a day, somewhere in that ballpark. So according to MyFitnessPal, this is 49 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbohydrates, and 57 grams of fat. 800 and something calories, probably about right. Not entirely sure where those carbohydrates are coming from, but yeah, standard-ish breakfast. So I thought I'd share a little bit of the behind the scenes of all the filming that we do. We're going to shoot off and film the morning walking workout video, which should have been up on the channel already. I'll link it down below. A video that I think is really powerful, especially if you just care about getting like the health benefits, getting outside, getting a little bit of everything, and just feeling feeling better. If you didn't know, I'm a white van man.
Oh, pretty shots.
It was pretty until you walked into it, mate. So we're out in the forest. If you haven't met before, this is cameraman Tim, an old friend.
You remembered my name.
Tim's a friend actually from school who's helped me massively improve the quality of videos over the past couple of years now.
He loves a mushroom, this boy.
Smells fresh. Smells like the forest. We picked some of these in Scotland. I was just hoping that wouldn't murder Tim in the process of picking and eating them. But can't go too wrong with these. Good hour or so of filming and walking this monster. What do you reckon? Pretty good? Right, so back from shooting and just doing a little bit of editing and sorting stuff out. I'm going to cook some lunch now. It's about 3 p.m. This is usually the meal that I end up missing if I'm really busy. I just have breakfast and then dinner. If I'm about in the day, I try and do a lunch as well. Whilst I am cooking lunch, I'm also going to cook dinner at the same time, batching things together so that I can train later on, not have to worry about cooking afterwards, etc, etc. It's all ready and sorted. So for dinner, I'm going to be cooking basically the thing that I seem to live off at the moment, which is like the batch cook meal. So I make one thing and it does like 4 or 5 different meals. I can freeze it, keep it in the fridge, whatever. It makes your life way simpler. This used to be like a chili because beef mince is cheap and great. Chili tasted good. I've actually gone now to bolognese. Don't know why. I just prefer the taste at the moment. And also bolognese has like a bunch of veggies like your carrots, celery, onions, peppers. Rosemary is just amazing. I cook about 1.5 kilos of beef of that, which equates to, for me, 4 meals. And then I either leave it in the fridge, I put it in the freezer as a spare meal, whatever. It's just the go-to. Lunch again, relatively straightforward, similar sort of layout to breakfast, so 40 to 50 grams of protein. Basically, if I'm looking to get a little bit leaner, I will have less carbs or no carbs with this meal. If I want to gain some weight, gain some muscle, I just add carbs to this meal. This is like my dial to change back and forth. So to go over, we got some beetroot, an apple, and then the 2 burgers. So there's about 200 grams of beef as well. By the way, if you're a mustard fan, this is like a sweet mustard. It is absolutely phenomenal with like burgers, pork, steak, literally anything. If you like mustard, this is amazing. So it is now 5:30 and gonna hit a quick little rotator cuff and arm session. Nothing super stressful. For a very quick outline on training at the moment, I'm in the final stages of rehabbing this labrum tear. I'm kind of transitioning from the very basic work that I have been doing, which is just simple basics, a little bit more bodybuilding style of training, and then now I'm starting to integrate more complicated movements and push the ranges of motion that the shoulder is now capable of doing. Introducing back in handstands. Really, if anyone's been through an injury rehab, it's that moment where you go from being protective and wanting to recover to then trying to push yourself and see what you're capable of doing. So for the final meal of the day, usually have some orange juice post-workout for some extra sugar, and then we don't do spaghetti with bolognese, but instead I tend to follow something roughly around the vertical diet outline, which is essentially beef and rice. So we've got a bunch of rice, we've got the bolognese from earlier, and of course some cheese to top it off for a decent amount of calories. 101 grams of protein, 122 grams of carbohydrates, and 68 grams of fat. That kind of puts that final meal to 1,500-ish calories. So this video has kind of gone full circle and I'm back to where we started, sat in the sun editing a video. Whilst I was editing this, I did kind of realize one thing, and that this video is a very perfect example of how I would go about approaching my eating. So whilst it's nice to think that every single day can be that controlled and planned, ultimately there's going to be days that aren't even going to be remotely close to that. So I just wanted to mention that this is a good day, this is what I aim for. This doesn't mean that every single day looks like this. For me, the focus is to make sure there is more days that are good than are bad. Certainly if we can stick to that 80-20 rule, I think for the most part, things are going to go well. Ultimately, the reason I haven't made these day of eatings in a little while is that I probably had more bad days than I've had good days. Not that I haven't eaten good food or I've just been eating pizza. I just probably haven't been eating enough, or I haven't been supporting the activities and the training and myself properly. But there's a new focus, and I always find making these videos kind of keeps me accountable and keeps me on track. So I'd appreciate you for that one. As always, if you enjoyed it, thumbs up button, subscribe button down below. Don't miss out on any more future videos. Apart from that, catch you in the next one. Have a strong week.